to NEK-TV Rocks, and my guests today are...
I'm Ramona Nault. I live in Barton, and I'm an aura photographer.
Cool.
And I'm Amy Gillespie, and I am the owner of The Witch's Brew.
And we're here today, and we're going to talk about the event that you have agreed to organize again.
Yes. So back in December, we held our first Psychic and Holistic Fair at the Municipal Building, which was incredibly successful.
It was amazing.
A lot of
full
fun.
disclosure here, I went. Wow.
Yeah. So last time we had about, I think, 16 vendors, and then there was various people doing readings, massage therapy, Reiki, and then we had a few aura photography.
Yes.
And then we also had some demos of, like, Shane Goodell came and did Tai Chi, and then there was yoga and sound healing. This year we're going to be at the green space across from where the playground is supposed to be. I call it the peninsula because it kind of goes out. I like
goes on to South Bay, which is actually lovely.
Yeah, and we're gonna have 26 vendors at least. People are still trying to come, but I want to make sure we can accommodate a thunderstorm location.
Yeah,
the event will be rain or shine unless there's thunderstorms.
Well, it'll still happen even if there's a thunderstorm, right?
It'll just be probably at the municipal building. I'm just trying to make sure everybody can fit in there. And then there'll be, again, massage therapy, Reiki, sound healing. And then this time we'll have demos, but there'll also be like a guided meditation. Annette from the Reiki Institute of Vermont's going to come and do a little energy, I can't remember what the official words are, Reiki type workshop too. Like there's going to be a lot to it. Yeah.
It's amazing.
It is.
And for somebody who hadn't been organizing events before, and I remember when you came on last time and you talked about the previous event, you weren't sure if you'd had a psychotic break or if there was really a reason for doing this. And as soon as that was done, you were back out there. Yeah, let's do it again.
Yeah, for sure. And we have another one planned for mid-November too at the municipal building. I had wanted it back in December again, but the wrestling people had already like pre-booked it like a year ahead.
Wrestling, psychic healing.
So it'll be a little bit earlier, but
it's okay.
And we'll have to be more of an intense application process because there'll have to be less people this time. But we'll see. It'll be good.
Yeah. How did you come up with this as an idea?
So originally, I think I had said that craft fairs and stuff are so hit or miss, especially for something, as unique as I do. So I was like, well, it'd be awesome to bring the community together with like minds who are going to appreciate and enjoy the art and just create this community, this atmosphere where, it's just, there are people out there. It's just bringing them together.
Right.
And I know St. J has different, events around, the metaphysical, spiritual piece. And I know that, the Renaissance Fair and psychic fairs down like Burlington area, but there wasn't really anything up here. So, yeah, I don't know.
And it was sort of interesting hearing people talk about it before because they were a little weirded out. They weren't sure what it was going to be. And then there's somebody like you, Ramona, who do aura photography, and it's what's that?
Yes.
And yet your booth, when I came into the fair in December, was mobbed. It was great.
I was straight out through the day. It was really nice to see because I live in this area and mostly I feel like I have to travel some distance to go to venues to do these photos. So it was really heartwarming to me in a way to see that many people were interested.
Can you explain a bit about what it is that you do?
Yeah, so it's been about almost 30 years I've been doing these photos. I came across the Aura camera years ago when I was out in California, and it was really like an impulse buy, which seems ridiculous to me at this point in time because it was an expensive camera, but I never regret it. So you take this this is a few different photos, so you can get an idea how they're different. People put their hands on 2 hand plates that have little bumps that use meridian points in your hands. And there's lots of computer chips in this equipment, and it's measuring the length of the wavelength in your energy field to, and puts the color in the corresponding place in your photo, so then I can interpret the colors in your photos, and it's not just what color it is, but where the color is placed that can make a difference. It might mean something completely different if you have, like, say, green here and green here. So it's, I really, more and more through the years as I do this, I feel like it's a spiritual growth kind of tool. You know, you can really see where you're at. I have some people that kind of regularly do photos to do exactly that, you know, and certainly plenty of people just do, you know, 1 or 2, but yeah,
it's a really interesting form of feedback, because it is
yes,
feedback.
Yes, it certainly is, and you know, for a lot of people it is that, just the validation, but for some people they're really picking up on something even deeper, so it helps them, you know, maybe know more what direction to go into. Or just, one guy said to me, it like gave me a little nudge into the direction I was thinking about going into. So it's, for most people, it really, I mean, it's fun too, of course, to see your pretty colors. But for most people, I feel like, especially now more than ever, people get more than just that this was fun. They get something out of it.
Do you use it yourself?
I do. I'm going to tell this little story. I'm usually kind of a golden orange, and I rarely do my own photo, because it's just, especially overhead, that's who you are. It's just going to be the same, unless you're undergoing something differently. So my dad, sadly, you know, when he was 90, and he had lost my mom the year before, and he was ready to go. I knew he was, but he was in perfect health. You know, his doctors would always say, "Oh, your health is so great." And so he fell and broke his ribs, and so I went over to move in with him for what I thought would be a couple months while he was recovering from this, so he'd have somebody there all the time. And he was improving rapidly, and then suddenly he was going downhill. It's like, what's going on? I had to start to feed him, because he was a strong man, and he didn't have that muscle control. I brought him to the emergency room, and he had a little growth on his brain. Of course, you're not going to do anything with anyone that old.
Right.
This is what the cool part about it to me. Once he was able to pass away at home. Within a few weeks, he was gone. And so I am not a real caretaker kind of person. I don't have that patience. A green person is a caretaker kind of person. And so after he passed away, I thought, I need to take a photo of myself. This is life-changing. And I was a solid green. And it helped me so much to see that, because well, like anybody, you know, most humans, I started doubting myself. Did I do all I could? Was I, you know, maybe I should have done this, maybe I should have done that. And by seeing that, no, I really took this caretaker role on. It helped alleviate a lot of those doubts, not all of them, but most of them. It helped so much. It was huge for me. And I'm not, you know, I'm not green anymore. It was just, no more caretaking for me. But it's a great example of how we, as people, can really take on the energy we need for what's going on at hand.
Right, and we reflect that back out, whether we know it or not.
Yes, yeah, so that's when I usually have my own photo done, when something is going on and I think, oh, I need to see what's happening with my colors.
Yeah. Just let me really take a step outside myself and look. And that's what it is.
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
hard to see outside when you're inside.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
I actually got mine done at the event. It's still my profile picture, because I was like sitting down expecting it to be like black, because I was like, it's been a stressful time, but it was just such a beautiful rainbow. Like, I still have it as my profile picture.
Yeah.
It's just so powerful.
Yours is very joyous looking.
Yeah. It was surprising.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yep.
Can you do this outside as well? Because obviously you're going to be outside.
Well, that's the thing. I'm glad you asked, because I'm going to do something different outside, because I don't like having that expensive camera equipment outside. I can do it, but I have to have a really dark tent.
Sure.
The sunlight really bothers it. So this is what I'm going to do at this fair. It's called, well, I call it interactive reports. It's a different system. You come up on a computer screen and it's picking up, to me, a different auric field. So you get to see your chakras.
Yeah.
You get to get a head and shoulder shot also, just like the regular aura photo. You're in this photos. I just didn't want someone's photo to be always showing. And a full body shot. And then the rest of the report is really awesome. It goes on to say things like, you know, your root chakra represents whatever the camera company thought it represented.
Yeah.
And because you've got yellow here, this is what's going on for you now. So this is a great report to take home later and really look at it. But while we're doing the session, I do things like have people choose the gemstone to pick up and hold and see how that affects their colors, or smell an essential oil, or you know, whatever anybody can think of. They could bring something from home with them, you know, this cherished, you know, pendant that their grandmother gave them when they were 5, you know, whatever. To see
pick
how
up a puppy, right?
Yes, well, yeah, that absolutely, huh? Yeah, so I'm going to be doing these because even though it's still pricey equipment, I think it's a little safer to have the laptop there.
Absolutely.
So that's when I'm going to be offering, unless it looks like we're going to be inside, and then I might revert back to the camera.
Okay, I am praying for blue skies and dry grass because it will be an interesting accommodation to be.
And you're going to be running around like a chicken without a head, organizing
I
and
feel
selling
like
at the
I
same
try
time?
to get all the details figured out so that once we're there, we're there. I would like to be able. I was so busy at my table last time, so I put myself right in the front. But thankfully, I have Brad and Poppy. They come, so they kind of help make sure everything's going. But you know, I try to bounce around a couple times just to see if anybody needs like a potty break or anything like that. But once it's set up, like my anxiety is about making sure everything's okay. But once it's set up, I'm completely fine.
Yeah.
And it's just like.
It was really cool seeing a 7-year-old loving being there and being involved in the organizing.
She's a little upset she can't sell water and tea this time.
Oh dear.
We're having an upcoming service. Tarbox Kindred Sips and Spirits is going to be a new truck, like for big events, even weddings and stuff. And normally they would be selling cocktails, mocktails, coffee, and all these things. Well, they made a special menu for us. And so we'll have a few mocktails, and there's going to be like lavender lemonade. Like, it just sounds amazing. We'll have Maria's Cucina. I don't say that right, sorry. And then Three Branches Bakery, Cafe and Bakery out of Island Pond is coming from 10 to 12 to have like really good bakery goodies.
Oh, nice.
So I wanted to kind of have something besides just, you know, the ethnic Filipino cuisine, you know, food.
Which is good.
But to have something in the morning. Crepe unfortunately couldn't come when we had to switch the dates, but I'm content with our choices.
So this is June the 1st.
Yes.
And what time of day?
10 to 4. And the farmers market will also be going on, so it's going to be pretty busy in town.
Which is great.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how everything goes. So I'm hoping that people, you know, kind of go to both and
I would
make
expect
a whole
so.
make a whole day of it. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Trying to think of anything. There's lots of local people who are vending, and then there's also people from Burlington. You know, it's just well-rounded.
It's really neat that up here we're pulling from away because usually we're the ones who travel out, as you know.
Yes, yeah, and I just want to say I was totally impressed with the vendors you got last time because I do go to a lot of fairs, and I honestly feel like that fair had one of the most variety of things that were really unique. I was just astonished, honestly.
It's even better this time. Like, even better. We had a lot of, some people couldn't do this one, and I feel like we've overfilled the gaps.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I was a little sad because Carmen Flynn can't come to offer readings, but I have new people that came.
Sure.
Like, I was a little concerned with gaps that I needed to fill because those are important things. And it's all falling together perfectly. Now my energy is just manifesting like perfect weather. I mean, a little drizzle will be okay, but
Yeah.
like I said, blue skies, dry grass is like, I keep saying it
Right.
over and over again.
It was really interesting to me because what you're offering is not that it didn't exist here before. It did, but it's sort of been underground.
Yeah.
And somehow this has legitimized it. So
Yeah.
it's not a little secret. You can actually use the words woo-woo or
Yeah.
whatever else and not freak people out. But there
Yeah.
were people there I didn't expect to see, which is great.
Yeah.
And it seemed to be really open-minded.
And I really like this time, especially like with the demos, like even if people weren't participating or doing the, like
Yeah.
the Tai Chi or the yoga, they're still seeing it. So it's,
Yes.
so that's why I'm
Yes,
excited
yeah.
for the demos are going to kind of be over towards the end of the peninsula.
Yeah.
So people going through town are going to be like, oh, what's going, what's
Sure.
that? What are they doing?
Yeah. Is
So-
Shane going to be doing Tai Chi again?
Yes, he is.
That's great because Tai Chi has sort of managed to cross that divide
Yeah.
because of the impact it has on balance and healing that's so well documented, and hospitals, clinics are referring, certainly seniors, to do Tai
Yeah.
Chi because of the improvement in balance.
He'll be our first demo at 10.
Yeah,
So
it's good.
bright and early. Yep.
So what other demos?
So we have Sarah from Spirited Places. She actually is, I think, Barton area too. Like, I had no idea about some of these people. So Googling like really opened a whole new world. She'll be doing a guided meditation to meet your spirit guides, which is like, pretty exciting. And that's at 11. I'm trying to figure out the sound healing if it'll either be at 12 or 3. But Meredith Whitney from The Commonplace is coming to do something called laughter yoga. So it'll be
They
laughing
did that
process.
at the wellness center. It was really popular, and the
Yeah.
wellness center is a pretty traditional
Yep.
place.
So I'm
It's
excited
great.
for that. And then I said Annette from the Reiki Institute of Vermont, which is down towards the Burlington area, I think. Don't quote me on that, but she's doing like a biodynamic energy Reiki little workshop explaining. Sorry, I don't know what this is, but
It's
for lack of a
cosmic,
better
yeah.
term, but it's encouraged to bring like, if you have a yoga mat or a blanket or a chair or something, I'm going to try to get as many benches over in that area as I can, but I have it all mapped out. But I went with Brad. I was like trying to just draw things in, and then I'm like, oh, I don't know if we're going to fit. And then we go there, I'm like, oh, wow, there's a lot more space than I thought, because I was looking, but it looks like a boot. It's really fun. So
You can make it fit,
Yeah.
definitely.
yeah, but I'm excited. I had visions of this beautiful market at that spot. I just love the water on
Yeah.
both sides, and the geese haven't really been there.
No.
I'm not really sure, so we won't have to really be on goose poop duty, because I know at the farmer's market, Brad would be there trying to move all the
I mean, that's both the good news and the bad news. I love seeing the
Oh, I
geese
do
there.
too. Yeah, there's
And
usually
the little
so
goslings
many.
following
Yeah.
behind. There are a couple that I see landing, but
Yeah.
I think maybe they've got the message.
Yeah, from the swans.
Oh, yeah.
jeez.
Fake, who knew fake swans scared geese?
At least the year after, I think, is
Yeah.
what they do.
Yeah. Yeah. What is there for kids?
Oh, so this year we're having the Fairy Hair by Kat. She's out of Burlington, and she does a lot of it. So it's like I've got some
Fairy
in
hair.
the glitter hair tinsel, and there also is Fiddlehead's face painting, and it's not just like a little bit of it's like extravagant face painting.
Beautiful masks.
Yeah. So, and I think being able to have outside, it's a little bit more room for kids to kind of just
Yeah.
get out
Right.
there. So I know there's at least those two things to kind of keep it open. I'm just trying to think through like vendor lists and stuff, what else there would be. I mean, it's a pretty open environment, just like the farmer's market. There'll be plenty of space. NEK 3D Collectibles and Creations will be there. They're a family, I guess the dad got a 3D printer for Christmas, and they have just gone crazy. They started doing craft fairs, and they're like, these dragons that really wiggly dragons, and
That they're printing off.
so many awesome things. So I had to
Wow.
spend at a craft fair. I didn't make very much money, but I had to get a dragon because it was just and I had it sitting on my shoulder, and so I reached out to them, and they're working on a whole different line of relevant theme stuff, because that's the goal. When I was people asking, you know, if they could come. I'm like, well, if it's not relevant, like it has to be handmade, or like I don't want rebought, like you're not reselling other people's work.
Right.
Like it has to be like authentic, like crafted stuff. No MLA, or you know what I mean, none of those things like that, which I hate saying no. So I actually made like a whole guiding principles to what I was looking for, because the anxiety of
they could say no.
yes, so I could just send it to them if they're interested. I'm like, oh, well, this is what, and then they just wouldn't respond. But like I've got a couple people waiting to see if there's space, which outside there would be, but I'm just I want to make sure we can accommodate what we already have. But everybody's going to have, you know, a tent, you know, so that if it rains, with appropriate anchors, that's an anxiety thing.
The 3D printer person, because that sounds really interesting. They're going to need electricity, right?
They're not going to need it, because they're not going to be printing anything the day
They've
of.
already printed.
Yeah, everything's already printed, and that thing is probably going 24/7, because it takes hours and hours for things just to be made.
Labor intensive, or machine labor intensive.
Yeah, and what's really cool is they have these, like, you can get personalized lampshades, like with photos on them
Wow.
from it. So it's just really, lots of really neat things. Oh, and actually, while we're talking, we're doing a raffle again this year. So last year we raised money for Nora beads. You know, Nora's story. I think we raised like $311 with the raffle, because a lot of the different vendors had donated different items for that. And we just do one big basket.
Yeah.
I don't have it in me to do like 500 things and calling 500 people. So this year we are raising money for a little girl named Aurora who has cystic fibrosis. So we are going to be doing a raffle for her this time. So that'll be... Yeah, I like being able, you know, to help a little bit. There's a big group of people, and so hopefully we can all work together to do the same kind of thing again. And May is actually Cystic Fibrosis Awareness Month. So her mom had done a calendar raffle type thing, and she does like information each day, facts about it. So yeah, I think that'll be a positive, helpful thing, hopefully, for them. And
yeah, so you're more than just an event at this point. You're a sort of benefit for the local community.
Yeah.
You're really a community building group.
Yeah, I think so. And I'm excited to see how it grows and changes. You know, maybe having to figure out a bigger venue. I like working with Mike, though, in the rec department for like the municipal building and stuff. He's so helpful in a comment. I'm like emailing him all like question. Like, one day I couldn't send emails or call him because they were having issues. And I'm like, oh my gosh. What am I going to do? I'm like, did they block me? Do I ask too many questions? No, but like he's so great. Even like they're so helpful, and
that's great.
Yeah. It's been really positive.
It's so interesting, knowing you for quite a long time, seeing you're a parent with 3 kids. I mean, that's a lot to do anyway. So then building your business really slowly with those little gnomes.
Yeah, I haven't done gnomes in a while
now.
Well,
look what else you're doing.
I know, I've grown from the gnomes. I do try to hide little. I did put out a few last weekend.
That was so lovely. People loved that.
Yeah, it was called the Enchanted Clay Quest. I would go on when we would be out walking, I would hide little gnomes or worry stones or stuff like, not worry stones, wish stones is what they're called. They're just crystals with clay around them.
Yeah.
But now what I do randomly is I'll just put out earrings. Like I'll put like free art. When I went to the Johnson campus for the wellness convention, I left some around campus. Just to kind of, you know, I have so much inventory, so it doesn't really hurt. And it gets the name out there.
Well, it does. I mean, it's great advertising, but it's really nice. It's like when the painted stones were a big thing.
Oh my goodness, that was I had a problem with that. We would do like hundreds of them because ADHD, hyperfocus.
Nothing obsessive about you, Amy.
Nothing. But that was one thing we did for so long. And it's along the same things, just spreading little bits of joy here and there. And
particularly when it was somebody who didn't sort of know anything about it. I mean, Anne came home one day, look what I found. Wow, I wonder how that got there.
I know now, I think Journey to Recovery has been doing some. They were at least last year. I don't know if there's been any out recently, but I know they had been doing some, so that's cool.
Yeah. The Facebook group, Newport Vermont Rocks, a lot of people joined it because they decided it had to be a rock group.
Oh,
You wouldn't even
So they
That's a good
stayed, which is cool.
yeah, that group's
yeah.
9-point-something thousand.
Yeah.
That's all.
So
Yeah.
the little gnomes were lovely.
Yeah.
I never found one, but I did
I
look.
like to hide one for you, so I'll put one in. They're teeny. I don't know why.
That's cheating.
I don't like making the same thing. Oh,
No.
that's why everything's pretty much one of a kind.
Yeah.
Because once I do something for a little while, like I don't like to do it again.
Right.
I just lose interest in it. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
but that keeps you fresh. It keeps your work fresh.
I've been getting ready, making different foraging type things because I'm doing. They asked last minute to do the forage
You're doing
festival.
the Forage Festival?
Yeah, somebody had canceled, so I filled the gap.
Of course you did.
So I had to get to it this week. I've just been making ghost pipes and mushrooms and
Fiddleheads.
fiddleheads, a few fiddleheads. But like I said, I don't know. I went out of my, well, it's kind of my nature is my element, but making things perfect is what's a struggle.
Yes.
Yes.
But who said nature makes things, quote, perfectly?
Well, I want it to
There's
look
so
like
much
an actual
difference.
fiddlehead, you know, the little,
Yeah, I
but I've
know.
learned a lot about it because I Google these things so I can learn about them too. So
Fiddleheads are delicious.
I have had them at a retreat. I did. They were,
But the season's
Pleasant.
just about over now. I mean,
Yeah.
there may be some remote spots where you can still get them.
Yeah.
But they're so good. So what's next?
so after this is done, so I'm coaching, assistant coaching T-ball right now. So that's why I won't start at the farmer's market till the end of June.
Oh,
But I am missing a game on Saturday to do that. So, but once T-ball's done, I'll be at the farmer's market pretty consistently,
July,
I
August,
think.
September.
Yep. And then there's a few events, but then again, November will come soon enough, and we'll have to
And
figure.
another year's gone.
Yeah. So I think twice a year is good. I think any more than that, I wish there could be like a little market, maybe once a month or something, but it's a lot, especially with the fees. Even though I did get a good deal this time because I switched with the carnival date, so Mike helped give me a little bit of a break there, and insurance fees and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, it's not too bad now, especially with more people coming.
Right. What's
But-
really cool is all of this is bringing people into Newport and showing our diversity.
Yeah, there were certainly things, again, at that December fair that I thought, I didn't even know these types of people were in this area. It was nice to see, truly,
Yeah.
you know, that there's people doing these things that, you know, I might see elsewhere, but I didn't realize people were doing here. I do think there's way more of it. I do think you're right when you say that by doing these shows, people are realizing, oh, wow, there's all this availability in our
Right.
area, and that people didn't necessarily realize that before, and it's important.
Or
you
if they've
know?
heard about it, they thought it was something weird or
Yes.
not something to be interested in.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's such a basis for life. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not strange.
Right.
Most of it's not strange. Some of us are a little strange. But, you know.
Well, we all need to have our minds pushed sometimes into being a little more open.
Right.
You know, I like to think I'm open-minded, but sometimes I come across something and at first I might think, what? But then I realize, no, I gotta give that a little more thought.
Yeah.
You know, I gotta be more open to this thing just because I haven't ever come across it before. Can be perfectly legitimate. So,
And we all act as though this is totally new. And yes, there are new components. I'm sure fairy hair wasn't called fairy hair back in the past when people still hung stuff in their hair.
Yeah.
But most of it's not new. I mean, the sort of symbols of protection, if you look at really, really old buildings, 13th, 12th century, they have gargoyles on them.
Yeah.
Well, what's that? If it's
And I kind of think of our event, is like a safe space.
Yes.
So some people who are more, you know, stricter with their religions might be like, oh, you know, it might be a little bit of a scary thing, but I carefully choose who comes. Like, and I don't think anybody on this list would be considered dark or anything
no.
like that. Like, it is a very loving, welcoming, safe environment. So anybody who's curious, I think, should stop by, because it's not going to be like, I don't know. You know what I mean, though? Like, it's not like this dark thing. Like, it's going to be just full of love and positivity, and just the atmosphere, if anything, is just so.
Right, and if we know that Tai Chi and massage are really important components in health, why not be open to the rest?
Yeah.
And explore. Some may be for you, some may not.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's like jewelry, not one style works for everybody.
There actually isn't as much jewelry as I was thinking. There's mine, and then Amber will be there with her wire wrapped goodness. I call her the queen of wire wrapping, just because. And then
It works beautiful.
yeah,
Really
for
is.
sure. And then scribbles and stones. I think she's a college student. She makes gemstone earrings, and then there's a couple members from like the Wisdom Keepers group from Sally Crow.
Yes.
Yes,
I
Blooming
know.
Arts.
I saw that.
And then, bees, bobbles, and bobbins.
Yes,
will be there.
I noticed
Really,
they were
really
gonna-
cool.
Yeah.
Cool
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Lots like the vendor. I'm so excited about the vendor list, because it's just awesome. Yeah.
How many are local? Super local.
Super local. Quite a few of them. I think everybody is. Let me look at my list. I mean, Serena will be there,
Yeah.
obviously.
Obviously.
And then lots of like the farmers market people. Lavender Essentials of Vermont. Michelle's coming again, and I wasn't too sure just with like the timing of seasons if she'd be there, but I got her application in the mail. She didn't even say anything to me, and I got it. I'm like, cool. I'm like, perfect. All right. Let's see. Wilden Witchcraft. Storm will be back. Lots of local people. There is a new dry herbal tea team that's coming. I met at the wellness convention in Johnson called Sprouting Soul Botanicals, and I'm super excited about that edition, because we didn't have anybody who does anything like that. Yeah, lots of just different people, and a lot of even the people who are doing readings and stuff are also selling some stuff too. So there's going to be lots of options, and if I can figure out how many more people we can fit at the Maness, I'll probably open it up to at least a few more, depending. I just want to make sure we
As
can
you continue to
get
do
everybody.
the dance for good weather.
Yes, that's all I can think about right now, is because the setup we have outside is just is really awesome. So I'm
Yeah.
like, that's my focus, is just
Yeah, I'd stay away from long range forecasts.
yeah. Well, I've been checking it, and it but the weather's always wrong.
I know.
It's like always
That's why
wrong.
I wouldn't be looking.
So so's rain. I'm just like, yeah. Anyways, Mike's like, it's okay. Let's just wait. Let's just wait and
Right.
see.
Even if you look at the Farmer's Almanac, are you looking at the one for Canada or the one technically for the Northeast? Because they're different.
Yeah. So I'm just
And we're
like,
in between.
it looks like there's going to be some rain, but like I said, the past week it was supposed to be, and it's only been certain days. So I'm just blue skies and dry grass.
Perfect.
The
Well, on
mantra.
that note, as we all chant dry grass, blue skies, we're out of time. So this will be fun. I'm obviously coming to look at it.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do some filming there.
That would be
fun
great.
too.
I actually
Yeah.
did email WCAX too, beginning of the month,
Good.
just in case they wanted to pop by.
Why not?
Yeah, it's going to be
Why
a big
not?
thing, so I'm excited.
Cool. Well, thank you both for coming, and I'm
thank
looking
you.
forward
Thanks
to this.
for
and I
having
hope
us.
Everybody else is. And I'd be really interested in seeing your other equipment.
Yeah, these chakra. A lot of people really love to
Yeah.
see their chakras. If they know about
Yeah,
chakras,
yeah.
they want to see their chakras. So yeah.
Right. Okay. Thank you both.
Thank you.